Hey guys, welcome back to Hike Oregon. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about stretches for avid hikers. If you are new here, welcome. I make hiking and backpacking vlogs as well as gear reviews and general tips and tricks videos to help you become a more confident hiker and backpacker. If you are interested in content like that, hit that red subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified every time I make a new video. This might seem like common sense to some of you, especially if you are an athlete or have been an athlete in the past. You obviously know why it's good to stretch and stuff like that. But honestly, even those people that are athletes or have been athletes in the past, let's say in high school or college, I don't often see them stretch after a hike, and that may be because I think a lot of people don't really realize how strenuous hiking can really be. This is especially really important if you are an avid hiker, if you are hiking multiple times a week, and especially if you are a long distance backpacker or a thru hiker. So stretching and rolling out reduces soreness in your muscles. So when you walk, work out, run, your muscles build up lactic acid, and that is what makes your muscles sore. So let's say you go on a 10-mile hike with like 2,500 feet elevation gain, your legs are likely going to be sore the next day. To avoid that, I highly recommend stretching before you get into the car and drive home. I generally drive an hour and a half to 3 hours to go to a hike. When I'm done with a hike and I have to then sit in the car for an hour and a half to 3 hours, and if I don't stretch before I get in the car, when I get out of the car, when I'm home, my legs hurt so bad, and I'm so stiff and so sore. When I stretch before I get in the car, I hardly feel sore at all after the drive. And the most important reason to stretch and roll out is to avoid injury. The more you stretch and the more that becomes part of your hiking routine, the less chance there is for injury. Okay, so I've lowered the camera angle a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing with my legs, since most of this is leg stretches. First, we're going to start with the quad stretch. So quads are these big muscles right here. These puppies definitely do a ton of work when you are climbing uphill. So a great way to stretch them is to take your ankle like this and pull it to your butt. Make sure that your front, you're not like doing this or something weird. Make sure your legs are staying close together and just pull that heel towards your butt, and that will get you a really nice stretch right here. That feels really good. If you have really nice flexible quads and you don't feel this at all, tilt your hips forward a little bit, and that should really enhance that stretch. Another muscle that does a lot of work when you are going uphill especially are the hamstrings. So that is this muscle right back here. It's like below your buttocks and like down here. So a great way to stretch your hamstring is to cross your legs like this and then just bend over and touch your toes. And that will also really nicely stretch your lower back. I find that when I am hiking or backpacking, especially with a heavy load on my back, that I sometimes get lower back pain when I am going up steep inclines. So again, just cross your legs and bend down, touch your toes. You can also just stand without your legs crossed and bend over and just keep your knees straight and just touch the ground. That will stretch that whole back side of your leg. It's super nice. So for me, sometimes I get sore right around here on this upper part of the buttocks, and a great stretch for that is figure 4. So basically you just put your ankle over your knee and then you just sink into it. you basically want to bend this leg, and that will give you a wonderful stretch right in here. It's so good. It's just so good. That's a really, really great one to do before you get in the car. Hip flexors oftentimes get overlooked. Hip flexors are these muscles right in here. They often get overlooked. However, they are super, super, super crucial when hiking and backpacking, and they especially get really, really worked when you are snowshoeing. You will notice you are sore like right here if you've been snowshoeing because you have extra weight on your legs. So basically a hip flexor stretch, you just want to sort of get into a lunge. I mean, a lunge is more like this. Straighten that back leg just a little bit, and then lean your hips forward. You see what I'm doing here? Just leaning the hips forward, and that will stretch this right here. Oh, I have pretty tight hip flexors. Yep, it just feels so good right here. You'll be like, isn't that just a quad stretch? No, you'll notice your quad is hardly stretching at all. If you really lean your hips forward, like tilt your pelvis forward and then sink into it, it will really, really stretch that right here. Okay, calf stretch. Calves are super important. They get really, really sore, especially if you are wearing trail runners with zero drop. Your calves and your Achilles area might be really sore. Great way to stretch the calves is to find a tree. So I'm going to use this post as a tree. It's kind of like the hip flexor stretch, but I'm putting my heel all the way on the ground. And then you just lean forward. So you like lean forward into it, but you're keeping that heel on the ground. That's important. And then what I like to do after that stretch is keep my calf really loose and kind of shake it out. And that's really nice. So again, you're going to keep that heel on the ground and just lean into whatever you're holding on to. It could be your car, it could be a tree, whatever. And then I put my toe on the ground and I just kind of keep my calf loose and I just shake it out. It feels really, really good. Something else that might feel sore when you are hiking or backpacking are your shins. There's a muscle that like goes across your shin right here. If that really gets tight, it can actually lead to shin splints, which can end your long distance hike. So a tip I have heard from a PT, so for this one you would probably sit or lay down in your tent and you just draw the alphabet with your toes. So basically you want to do A, B, C, and that is just going to really loosen this up. You can tell just by like rotating your foot around that loosens up the shin. And then I know we're not doing a lot of stuff with our upper body when we're hiking. However, you are carrying a load on your shoulders. And if you are using trekking poles, you are doing work with your upper body, especially if you are going uphill and you're using trekking poles. You're definitely doing a lot of work with your shoulders and your upper back. That for me can actually get really tight. I generally get really tight shoulders, and if I don't stretch or loosen that up before I get in the car, I get like really bad tension headaches from that. So something you can do is stand up straight and just like not forcefully grab your head, but kind of just tilt to one side and you'll feel that nice stretch right here. It'll go all the way to your shoulder and then just tilt the other side. Oh, that feels so good. And then just like move your shoulders. You know, when you're hiking and backpacking, your pack is just sitting on your back and you're just kind of, you tend to be a little hunched over, and so if you just do this, it feels really, really good. Move your neck around, the neck circles. This is really nice. You could take your arms, especially if you've been hiking with trekking poles, this is a nice arm stretch. Just take your arm and across your body like this. Yeah, Just feels really nice to get loosened up, like I said, especially before you get into the car and drive back home. Now, one more thing I wanted to mention that you can do after you get home from your hike is rolling out. This is also something that you can do when you're backpacking. You just have to carry a little something extra with you. So these cork balls are from the brand Rawlogy. They are actually made out of recycled materials. This is their biggest ball. This is really nice for rolling out your butt or your quads, but I wanted to show you the other sized balls that you can get, the medium and small one. So the small one is probably something that I would carry on a backpacking trip because you can nicely roll out your feet. If I'm long distance backpacking, my feet tend to get pretty sore, so these are really, really nice to take with you. And you can also use the small one to roll out whatever other body parts you need to roll out. So essentially how this would work is you could take the big ball and place it. I really like to do like an upper butt roll. Oh god, that feels so good. It's like a massage, kind of a painful massage, but you basically just put it on the muscle and you roll around on it. It hurts, but it feels good, and if you are really, really, really sore, stretching is nice, but this will really get the lactic acid out of your muscles, really rejuvenate you. There's also instances where the muscle is just like chronically tight and just isn't gonna loosen up with stretching. It would loosen up with like a massage or something like this. So this is nice for rolling out the calves. So you would just put it under your calf and roll out your Achilles. Oh my god, that hurts so good. Roll out your hamstring. It's just really nice. They also sell foam rollers, so if you want like a big foam roller, you can have that too. This is just really nice for the feet. Like I said, I would take this backpacking, just put it under your foot, and it's just absolutely wonderful. Ooh, rolling out that arch. Especially, like I said, if you have zero drop shoes, this will help you immensely, especially on a long distance backpacking trip. There are little muscles all in between the bones in your feet, and those can get really, really, really sore. So something like this is just super nice. And like I said, if you are just taking this on your backpacking trip, you can use your hand, because this is a little small obviously to like sit on, but you can use your hand to roll out your muscle. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I would love to hear if you have any favorite stretches that I did not touch on. Make sure to comment those below. I will make sure to link the Rawlogy balls in case you want to pick those up for your next trip, or if you just want to have them at home for your rolling out needs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.